Hello and welcome. Take a moment and think about your morning. Perhaps it started with the gentle hum of a coffee maker, the rush of water from the shower, or the crisp snap of a cereal box opening. Our homes are ecosystems of sounds, routines, and things. From the toothbrush by the sink to the dish soap underneath it, from the paper towels on the counter to the trash bags we use to contain our daily waste. These items are the silent partners in our lives. They're so integrated into our routines that we rarely give them a second thought. But what if I told you that a quiet revolution is taking place, right inside the American home? This revolution isn't about dramatic upheaval. It's about a subtle but powerful shift in consciousness. It's a growing awareness that the small choices we make every single day, the products we buy, use, and throw away, have a collective impact that ripples far beyond our front doors. You've likely heard the buzzwords, sustainability, eco-conscious, zero waste, carbon footprint. For a long time, these terms might have felt abstract, like concepts for scientists and activists to debate. But now, they are filtering into our grocery aisles, our online shopping carts, and our everyday conversations. This series, Top 5 Eco-Friendly Home Products Americans Are Loving, is your practical guide to understanding and joining this movement. We're not here to preach or to overwhelm you with guilt. We're here to explore, to discover, and to celebrate the innovative, effective, and often beautiful products that are making it easier than ever for everyday Americans to live a little lighter on the planet. Over the next 15 chapters, we will journey through the different rooms of our homes, uncovering the simple swaps that are making a world of difference. So, what exactly do we mean when we say a product is eco-friendly? It's a broad term, and unfortunately, it's sometimes used by companies simply as a marketing tactic, a practice known as greenwashing. But for our purposes, a genuinely eco-friendly product typically checks several key boxes. First, it considers the source. Where do the materials come from? Are they renewable resources, like bamboo, which grows incredibly fast, or cork? Are they made from recycled content, giving a second life to plastics, glass, or paper that would otherwise end up in a landfill? The origin story of a product matters immensely. Second, it focuses on the life cycle. A truly sustainable product is designed not just for its moment of use, but for its entire existence. This often means it's reusable, not disposable. Think of a durable cloth napkin versus a paper one. One is designed for hundreds of uses, the other for a single meal. This category also includes products that are biodegradable or compostable, meaning they can break down naturally and return to the earth, rather than sitting in a landfill for centuries. Third, it examines the ingredients. This is especially crucial for cleaning supplies, detergents, and personal care items. An eco-friendly product avoids harsh, toxic chemicals that can harm our waterways, our indoor air quality, and our bodies. Instead, it relies on plant-derived, non-toxic, and effective ingredients. Fourth, it minimizes waste, not just in the product itself, but in its packaging. You're seeing this trend everywhere. Concentrated formulas that require smaller bottles, shampoo bars that eliminate the bottle altogether, and companies offering refill programs that let you use the same container over and over again. And finally, many conscious consumers also consider the ethics behind the product. Was it produced in a way that's fair to the workers and the communities involved? This human element is a vital part of the bigger picture of sustainability. The rise of these products in the United States isn't happening in a vacuum. It's a direct response to a growing public desire for change. We see the headlines about climate change, we see the images of plastic pollution in our oceans, and we feel a growing disconnect between the convenience of modern life and the health of our planet. This isn't about a fringe movement anymore. It's a mainstream concern. A 2021 study showed that nearly 85% of consumers in the US have shifted their purchasing behavior towards being more sustainable in the past 5 years. People are actively seeking out brands that align with their values. This series will cut through the noise. We will put 5 specific, game-changing products under the microscope. We'll explore why they've captured the hearts and minds of American consumers. We'll delve into the science behind how they work, offer tips on what to look for when you're shopping, and discuss the real-world impact of making these simple switches. We'll start in the heart of the home, the kitchen, a place notorious for single-use waste. We'll then move through the laundry room, the bathroom, and even into the realm of our cleaning closets. We won't just tell you what to buy, we'll explain the why behind each recommendation, empowering you to become a more informed and confident consumer. The goal here isn't perfection, it's progress. It's about understanding that you don't have to completely overhaul your life overnight to make a positive impact. The journey towards a more sustainable home is built one small, intentional choice at a time. It's about replacing one product when it runs out with a better alternative. It's about discovering that these eco-friendly options are not only good for the planet but are often better for our health and our wallets in the long run. They are frequently higher quality, last longer, and perform just as well, if not better, than their conventional counterparts. So, get comfortable. In our next chapter, we will unveil the first product on our list, an item that directly tackles the massive problem of single-use plastics in the American kitchen. It's an elegant, simple, and incredibly effective solution that people are falling in love with. The quiet revolution is here, and it starts with a single choice. Let's begin this journey together. Welcome back. In our last chapter, we talked about the quiet revolution happening in American homes, the shift towards more conscious, sustainable living. We set the stage for our journey, promising to explore the top 5 eco-friendly products that are not just good for the planet, but are genuinely loved by consumers for their ingenuity and effectiveness. We promised to start our journey in the heart of the home, the kitchen. So, let's step into that space right now. Open a drawer. Open the pantry. What do you see? Chances are, you'll find a roll of plastic cling wrap and a box of single-use plastic baggies. For decades, these have been the undisputed champions of food storage. They're convenient, they're cheap, and they're everywhere. We use them to wrap up half an onion, pack a sandwich for lunch, or store leftovers in the fridge. The average American family is estimated to use around 500 single-use plastic baggies every single year. Multiply that by the millions of households across the country, and the scale of the waste becomes staggering. The problem is what happens after that single, convenient use. These thin plastic films and bags are notoriously difficult to recycle. Most municipal recycling programs don't accept them because they get tangled in the machinery, causing costly shutdowns. As a result, the vast majority of them end up in landfills, where they can take hundreds of years to break down. Or worse, they find their way into our environment, littering our parks, clogging our waterways, and breaking down into tiny microplastics that harm wildlife and contaminate our ecosystems. For years, this felt like an unsolvable problem. The convenience was just too hard to give up. But that's where our first product comes in. This is the item that has truly changed the game for eco-conscious kitchens across the United States. It's not a compromise, it's an upgrade. We're talking about reusable silicone food storage bags. If you haven't seen them, picture your typical plastic baggie, but remade from a soft, durable, translucent material. That material is food-grade silicone. At the top, instead of a flimsy zip track, they have a robust, pinch-lock seal that creates an airtight and leak-proof closure. They come in all shapes and sizes, from small snack pouches perfect for a handful of nuts, to sandwich-sized bags, to large gallon-sized versions that can hold a whole head of lettuce, and even stand-up versions perfect for storing soups and sauces. So why have Americans fallen in love with these simple yet brilliant bags? The answer lies in one word: versatility. This is where they completely outperform their single-use plastic counterparts. Yes, you can pack a lunch in them, but you can also do so much more. Because they are made from 100% food-grade platinum silicone, they are incredibly resilient to temperature changes. This means you can take a bag of leftover chili from the freezer and pop it straight into the microwave to reheat. You can use them for sous vide cooking, marinating meats, or even baking small items in the oven. They can go from the freezer to boiling water to the dishwasher without skipping a beat. A single-use plastic bag could never do that. This durability also leads to another reason for their popularity: long-term cost savings. While a set of silicone bags has a higher upfront cost than a box of disposables, the investment pays for itself over time. One well-made silicone bag can replace hundreds, if not thousands, of single-use bags over its lifetime. You stop the endless cycle of buying, using once, and throwing away. You buy one quality set, and you're done. This shift from a disposable mindset to a durable one is a core principle of sustainable living, and it's something that resonates deeply with people looking to save money and reduce waste. Then there's the health and peace of mind factor. We're increasingly aware of the chemicals present in plastics, like BPA, lead, phthalates, and PVCs, which can potentially leach into our food. High-quality silicone bags are free from these harmful chemicals, providing a safer, non-toxic alternative for storing your family's food. You can feel confident that what you're storing is pure and untainted. And let's be honest, there's also the sheer satisfaction of using them. The seal is secure. They don't rip or tear. They are easy to clean. Most are top-rack dishwasher safe. The act of washing and reusing them creates a new, more mindful habit. Every time you reach for a silicone bag instead of a plastic one, it's a small, tangible reminder of a positive choice you've made. It's a simple action that helps combat that feeling of environmental helplessness. You are actively participating in the solution, right in your own kitchen. When you're ready to make the switch, what should you look for? First and foremost, check the material. You want to see 100% platinum food-grade silicone. This is the highest quality, ensuring it's durable and safe. Second, examine the seal. A good pinch lock seal should be easy to close but firm enough to be completely airtight and leak-proof. Third, consider the sizes you'll use most. A starter set with a couple of sandwich bags, a snack bag, and a larger half-gallon bag is often a great way to begin. The explosion in popularity of reusable silicone bags marks a pivotal moment in our collective journey towards sustainability. It proves that we don't have to sacrifice performance or convenience to be eco-friendly. In fact, the sustainable option can be, and often is, the superior product. It's a true upgrade to our kitchens and our lives. We've tackled the plastic bag. But as you stand in your kitchen, look over at the counter. There's another single-use champion sitting there, ready to wipe up a spill and then head straight for the trash. In our next chapter, we'll address that ubiquitous role of paper towels and explore the product that's making them obsolete. Hello and welcome back to our journey through the American home's eco-friendly transformation. In our last chapter, we tackled the mountain of single-use plastic waste created by disposable food baggies and celebrated the rise of their durable, versatile, and cost-effective replacement, reusable silicone bags. We ended with a question lingering over the kitchen counter. What about that other giant of single-use convenience, the ever-present role of paper towels? Let's be honest, the paper towel is a deeply ingrained part of American culture. We are, by a staggering margin, the world's #1 consumer of them. The United States spends nearly $6 billion on paper towels each year, which is almost as much as every other country in the world combined. We use them for everything: wiping up a coffee spill, drying our hands, cleaning windows, draining grease from bacon, and even as a makeshift napkin. Their convenience is undeniable, but their environmental cost is immense. Think about the journey of a single paper towel. It begins as a tree in a forest, often a virgin forest, which is cut down. It then goes through a resource-intensive manufacturing process that uses huge amounts of water and energy. It's bleached with chemicals to become that pristine white, wrapped in plastic packaging, and shipped across the country, only to be used for a few seconds to wipe up a mess before being tossed into the trash. Once in the landfill, it, along with the 13 billion pounds of other paper towels Americans discard annually, generates methane, a potent greenhouse gas. For a long time, the main alternative was a cloth rag or a sponge. But rags can feel messy, and sponges, as many of us know, can quickly become a smelly breeding ground for bacteria. Consumers needed a solution that was not only reusable but also effective, hygienic, and easy to use. And they found it in a colorful, unassuming little rectangle. This brings us to the second product on our list, a Swedish invention that has become a sensation in American kitchens: the Swedish dishcloth. At first glance, a Swedish dishcloth might seem strange. When it's dry, it's stiff and flat, almost like a piece of cardboard. But the magic happens when you run it under water. It instantly transforms into a soft, pliable, and incredibly thirsty cloth. Made from a unique blend of natural cellulose, which comes from wood pulp, and cotton, these cloths have a superpower: absorbency. A single Swedish dishcloth can absorb up to 20 times its own weight in liquid. That's far more than any paper towel. You can mop up a huge spill with one cloth, wring it out, and go right back for more. This incredible absorbency is the first reason Americans love them. But the second is their performance. Unlike paper towels that can leave behind lint and streaks, Swedish dishcloths are renowned for their streak-free cleaning ability. They are perfect for wiping down granite countertops, stainless steel appliances, windows, and mirrors, leaving them sparkling clean. They have the absorbency of a sponge but the wiping power of a high-quality cloth. Then there's the durability and reusability factor. A single Swedish dishcloth can replace, on average, 17 rolls of paper towels. Let that sink in. One cloth does the work of over a dozen rolls. They are built to last and can be washed and reused hundreds of times. And cleaning them couldn't be simpler. You can toss them in the top rack of your dishwasher or include them in a load of laundry. This durability makes them another fantastic investment that saves money over time, breaking the expensive cycle of constantly replenishing your paper towel supply. Perhaps one of the most beloved features, especially when compared to a traditional sponge, is how hygienic they are. Because of their cellulose-based structure, they dry incredibly fast. A wet sponge can sit for hours, allowing bacteria to multiply, which leads to that unpleasant sour smell. A Swedish dishcloth, when wrung out and left to dry, becomes bone dry in a short amount of time, making it far more resistant to bacteria and odor. But the truly beautiful part of the Swedish dishcloth story is its ending. After months of loyal service, when the cloth has finally reached the end of its life, you don't have to throw it in the trash. Because it's made from 100% natural and renewable materials, it is fully biodegradable and compostable. You can literally cut it up and toss it into your home compost bin, where it will break down and return to the earth. This creates a perfect, waste-free life cycle that resonates deeply with anyone looking to reduce their contribution to landfills. From a purely aesthetic standpoint, they also add a touch of fun and personality to the kitchen. They come in a huge variety of bright colors and charming patterns, from lemons and flowers to geometric designs, allowing people to express their style in a small but meaningful way. Making the switch from paper towels to Swedish dishcloths is a perfect example of a small change with a massive impact. It reduces deforestation, saves water, cuts down on landfill waste, and saves you money. It's a simple, effective, and even joyful swap. So far, we've focused on the kitchen, tackling the waste from food storage and cleanup. But our homes have other areas where consumption runs high. In our next chapter, we're going to step out of the kitchen and head into the laundry room, a place where big plastic jugs and mysterious chemicals have reigned supreme for decades. We'll uncover the revolutionary product that's cleaning up our clothes and the environment in a whole new way. Welcome back. In our first few chapters, we've completely reimagined the American kitchen, swapping out disposable plastics and paper for durable, elegant, and highly effective reusable solutions. We've seen how small changes can lead to a significant reduction in waste. Now, as promised, we're leaving the kitchen and heading to another workhorse of the American home, the laundry room. For most of us, the laundry room is a place of function, not form. And at the center of that function sits a product we've all bought hundreds of times, the laundry detergent. Picture it in your mind's eye. It's almost certainly a massive, heavy plastic jug, filled with a brightly colored, artificially scented liquid. We lug it home from the store, find a place for its bulky frame on a shelf, and deal with the sticky blue goo that inevitably drips down the side from the measuring cap. This has been the standard for so long, most of us have never questioned it. But what if that familiar jug is one of the most wasteful items in our entire home? Let's break down the problem. First, there's the plastic. It's estimated that in the United States alone, over 700 million of these high-density polyethylene jugs are thrown away every single year. While they are technically recyclable, the reality is that a huge percentage of them are not. They end up in our landfills, where they will sit for centuries, or worse, make their way into our oceans. But the plastic is only part of the story. What's inside that jug? Mostly, it's water. Traditional liquid detergents can be up to 80% water. Think about that. We are spending billions of dollars as a nation to ship heavy water from factories to warehouses to stores to our homes. The carbon footprint of transporting all that unnecessary weight across the country is astronomical. Furthermore, there is the issue of the detergent itself. Many conventional formulas contain a cocktail of harsh chemicals like phosphates, sulfates, and artificial fragrances. These can irritate sensitive skin and, when they wash down the drain, can pollute our waterways. And finally, the design of the jug and cap makes it notoriously easy to use too much detergent. This overdosing is not only wasteful and expensive, but it can also leave a residue on your clothes and even damage the sensitive sensors in modern high-efficiency washing machines. The problem is clear. The plastic jug is bulky, wasteful, and inefficient. The solution needed to be the exact opposite: lightweight, waste-free, and perfectly portioned. This brings us to the third product on our list, an innovation that is completely changing the way Americans do laundry: laundry detergent sheets. Imagine a small, lightweight cardboard envelope. Inside, instead of a heavy jug of liquid, you find a stack of what looks like thin, dry, paper-like sheets. Each sheet is, in fact, a highly concentrated, waterless slice of laundry detergent. They are dry to the touch, weigh next to nothing, and dissolve almost instantly when they come into contact with water in your washing machine. The number one reason Americans are switching to these sheets is the most obvious one: zero plastic waste. The sheets come in a plastic-free, recyclable, and often compostable cardboard mailer. You use the last sheet, and you simply toss the entire package into the recycling bin. The jug problem is solved instantly. The second reason is their incredible convenience. They are virtually weightless and take up a fraction of the space of a traditional jug. For anyone living in an apartment, a college dorm, or an RV, or for anyone who simply hates clutter, this is a revolutionary space saver. There's no more lugging a 10-pound bottle home from the store or up a flight of stairs. Then there is the sheer simplicity and mess-free nature of using them. The sheets are pre-measured. For a regular load, you just toss one sheet into the washer drum. For a very large or heavily soiled load, you might use two. That's it. There is no measuring, no pouring, and absolutely no sticky, goopy cap to clean up. It is a clean, simple, and foolproof system. This convenience extends to travel as well. You can pack a few sheets in your suitcase for a trip without ever worrying about spills or liquid restrictions. Beyond the packaging and convenience, the formulas themselves are a huge draw. The leading brands of detergent sheets are biodegradable and rely on plant-derived ingredients. They are typically hypoallergenic, making them a fantastic choice for people with sensitive skin or for washing baby clothes. They are formulated without the harsh chemicals found in many mainstream detergents, so they are gentler on your clothes and on the planet. And despite their gentle formulation, they are incredibly effective. The concentrated power within each sheet works to lift stains and eliminate odors, leaving your clothes fresh and clean. They work in all water temperatures and are compatible with all types of washing machines, including high-efficiency models. Making the switch to laundry detergent sheets is a powerful step. You are actively choosing to eliminate a major source of household plastic waste. You are reducing carbon emissions from transportation. And you are opting for a cleaner, gentler formula for your family. It is a product that is better in every conceivable way. Better for the environment, easier to store, and simpler to use. We've now cleaned up our laundry detergent situation, but the wash cycle is only half the battle. What happens when we move our clothes from the washer to the dryer? For most, it involves tossing in another single-use product designed to be thrown away. In our next chapter, we'll tackle the flimsy chemical-coated dryer sheet and explore the durable, all-natural alternative that will leave your clothes soft, static-free, and smelling fresh for years to come. Welcome back. In our last chapter, we revolutionized the wash cycle by ditching the heavy, wasteful plastic detergent jug in favor of lightweight, eco-friendly laundry detergent sheets. We addressed the plastic, the shipping emissions, and the harsh chemicals. But the journey of our laundry isn't over when the washing machine beeps. There's the second half of the equation, the dryer. And with it comes another ubiquitous, single-use product, the dryer sheet. For generations, tossing a flimsy, papery sheet into the dryer has been the final step in doing laundry. We do it almost without thinking. We associate its powerful, artificial fragrance with the very definition of clean. The promise is simple: softer clothes, less static, and a fresh scent. But have you ever stopped to wonder what exactly is on that sheet? And where does it go after its 45-minute tumble? The truth is, a dryer sheet is a piece of non-woven polyester fabric coated in a chemical softening agent and a heavy dose of synthetic fragrance. When heated in the dryer, this chemical coating melts and transfers onto your clothes, giving them that soft feel. The problem lies within these chemicals. The softening agents can include ingredients that create a waxy buildup on your clothes over time. This is especially problematic for absorbent fabrics like towels. You might notice that after a while, your towels just don't seem to dry you off as well as they used to. That's often the residue from dryer sheets, clogging the fibers and reducing their absorbency. This same waxy residue can also clog the lint filter of your dryer, reducing its efficiency and, in some cases, even becoming a fire hazard if not cleaned properly. Beyond that, there are growing concerns about the fragrances themselves. Companies are not required to disclose the specific ingredients in their fragrance formulas, which can be a complex blend of chemicals. For people with asthma, allergies, or chemical sensitivities, these airborne chemicals vented from the dryer can be a significant irritant. And, of course, there is the waste. Just like the paper towel, the dryer sheet is designed to be thrown away after a single use. If a typical American family does 5 to 7 loads of laundry a week, that's over 300 dryer sheets heading to the landfill every single year, from just one household. It's a constant cycle of buying and discarding. So, the challenge was to find a solution that could soften clothes, reduce static, and shorten drying time without the waste, the chemicals, or the waxy residue. The answer didn't come from a high-tech lab. It came from nature. This brings us to the fourth product on our list, a simple, ancient material that has become a modern laundry room hero: wool dryer balls. If you've never seen them, they are exactly what they sound like: tightly compacted, fist-sized balls made of 100% natural wool. You typically buy them in a set of 3, 4, or 6, and their function is based on simple physics, not chemistry. Here's how they work. When you toss them into the dryer with your wet clothes, they bounce and tumble around, getting in between the layers of fabric. This action physically separates the clothes, preventing them from clumping together. This separation allows the hot air inside the dryer to circulate far more efficiently, reaching more surface area on every item. This leads to the first and most celebrated benefit of wool dryer balls: they can significantly shorten drying time. Many users report that their laundry dries up to 25% faster. Over the course of a year, that adds up to a real savings of time, energy, and money on your utility bill. You're using less electricity or gas, simply because your dryer is working more efficiently. Second, they are a natural fabric softener. The constant tumbling of the dense wool balls against the fibers of your clothes agitates them and softens them, much like a fabric tenderizer. Your clothes come out feeling fluffy and soft, without any chemical coating left behind. Your towels will actually become more absorbent over time, not less. Third, they tackle static cling. As they tumble, the wool balls help to absorb some moisture and then distribute it evenly throughout the drying cycle, which helps to reduce the buildup of static electricity. For those in very dry climates, a popular trick is to spritz the balls with a little water before a cycle to add a bit more humidity, making them even more effective. And the best part, they are incredibly durable. A quality set of wool dryer balls can be used for over 1,000 loads of laundry. For the average family, that's 2 to 4 years of use from a single purchase. You completely eliminate the recurring cost and waste of disposable dryer sheets. For those who miss the scent of traditional dryer sheets, wool dryer balls offer a natural, customizable alternative. Simply add a few drops of your favorite essential oil, like lavender, lemon, or eucalyptus, onto each ball and let it soak in for a few minutes before tossing them in the dryer. Your laundry will come out with a light, natural, non-toxic fragrance. Using them is as simple as it gets. You just throw them in the dryer with your clothes and leave them there until the next load. There's no waste, no chemicals, no complicated steps. They are a perfect example of an eco-friendly product that not only matches the performance of its conventional counterpart but, by saving time and money, actually exceeds it. We've now addressed the major sources of waste in our kitchens and laundry rooms. But there's another room in the house where daily routines and disposable products create a steady stream of trash. In our next chapter, we'll move into the bathroom to examine our personal care habits and unveil the next product on our list, a beautiful and effective swap that's revolutionizing how we wash. Welcome back. Over the past few chapters, we have systematically transformed our kitchens and laundry rooms, replacing wasteful, single-use items with durable, intelligent, and eco-friendly alternatives. We've seen how these simple swaps are not compromises, but upgrades. As we continue our journey through the American home, we now step into one of the most private and routine-oriented spaces, the bathroom. Take a look around your shower or the edge of your bathtub. What do you see? For most of us, it's a collection of plastic bottles. There's a bottle of shampoo, a bottle of conditioner, a bottle of body wash, maybe a face wash and other assorted potions. It's a veritable sea of plastic, each bottle destined for the same place after a few months of use, the trash or the recycling bin. The sheer scale of this waste is difficult to comprehend. In the United States alone, it's estimated that we dispose of more than 550 million empty shampoo bottles every single year. When you add in conditioner and body wash bottles, that number climbs exponentially. And while we might hopefully toss them into the recycling bin, the reality of plastic recycling is complicated. Many of these bottles, due to their shape, color, or the type of plastic pump they use, are never actually recycled. They end up in landfills, taking centuries to break down, or polluting our oceans. Just like the liquid detergents we discussed in the laundry room, these products are also composed primarily of water. We are essentially paying for, and shipping, heavy bottles of water all over the country. Furthermore, to create that rich lather we've all come to expect, many mass-market liquid shampoos use chemical detergents like sodium lauryl sulfate, or SLS, which can be harsh, stripping the natural, healthy oils from our hair and scalp and causing irritation for those with sensitive skin. The problem was clear. Our daily washing routines were creating a mountain of plastic waste and relied on diluted, often harsh, formulas. The solution needed to be solid, concentrated, and gentle. This brings us to the fifth and final product on our main list, an item that is dramatically changing the landscape of the American shower, the solid shampoo and conditioner bar. At first glance, these bars look much like a fancy bar of soap. They come in various shapes and colors and are often packaged in a small, recyclable cardboard box. But don't be fooled, these are not soap. They are sophisticated, highly concentrated bars of solid shampoo and conditioner, formulated with high-quality ingredients specifically designed for your hair. The most immediate and impactful benefit is the complete elimination of plastic packaging. One shampoo bar can replace 2 to 3 full-sized plastic bottles of liquid shampoo. By making the switch, you are directly preventing those bottles from ever entering the waste stream. The packaging is minimal, plastic-free, and typically compostable or recyclable. It is one of the most satisfying zero-waste swaps you can make. Because the bars are solid, they are incredibly concentrated. You are no longer paying for water. You are paying for pure, active ingredients. This concentration means that a single bar lasts an incredibly long time. While the upfront cost might be slightly higher than a drugstore bottle, the cost per wash is often significantly lower, making them a very economical choice in the long run. Americans are also falling in love with the quality of the ingredients. Many of the brands pioneering these bars are small, eco-conscious companies that prioritize natural and nourishing formulas. You'll find ingredients like shea butter, argan oil, coconut oil, and gentle, plant-based cleansers. They are often made without the harsh sulfates, parabens, and synthetic fragrances that many people are actively trying to avoid. The result is a product that is not only good for the planet, but genuinely better for your hair and scalp health. Many people are skeptical at first. Will it really clean my hair? Will it lather? The answer is a resounding yes. Modern shampoo bars are formulated to create a rich, luxurious lather with just a few swipes. They effectively cleanse the hair, leaving it feeling light, clean, and healthy. Conditioner bars are equally impressive. They are designed to be swiped over the lengths of your hair, providing a concentrated dose of moisture that detangles and softens, leaving your hair smooth and manageable. Beyond the eco-friendly and performance aspects, there's the minimalist appeal. They completely declutter your shower. Instead of a jumble of half-empty, slippery bottles, you have two neat, compact bars sitting on a soap dish. And for anyone who travels, they are an absolute dream. They are solid, so they're TSA-friendly. You can toss them in your bag without a second thought, completely eliminating the risk of a shampoo explosion in your luggage. Using them is simple, but it's a slightly different technique. For the shampoo bar, you can either create a lather in your hands or, more effectively, rub the bar directly onto your wet hair and scalp a few times. A little goes a very long way. Then, massage and rinse as usual. For the conditioner bar, you glide it over the ends of your hair, and then work the product through with your fingers before rinsing. The most important tip for a long life is to keep them dry on a draining soap dish between uses. This completes our list of the top 5 eco-friendly products Americans are loving. We've replaced plastic wrap with silicone bags, paper towels with Swedish dishcloths, laundry jugs with detergent sheets, dryer sheets with wool balls, and now, shampoo bottles with solid bars. Each swap tackles a major source of household waste, saving resources and often, saving money. But our journey isn't over. These 5 products are just the beginning. In our next chapters, we will explore other brilliant, honorable mentions that are also changing our homes for the better. We will dive deeper into the psychology of building sustainable habits and provide you with a guide on how to spot greenwashing and become a truly savvy eco-consumer. The foundation has been laid, and now we will build upon it. Hello and welcome back. Over the last 6 chapters, we have established the foundation of a modern, eco-friendly American home. We've identified and explored the top 5 products that are leading this quiet revolution: reusable silicone bags, Swedish dishcloths, laundry detergent sheets, wool dryer balls, and solid shampoo and conditioner bars. Each of these items directly replaces a major source of household waste, proving that sustainability and superior performance can, and should, go hand in hand. Completing that list is a major milestone, but it is far from the end of the story. The movement towards conscious consumption is vast and filled with brilliant innovations. So for this chapter, we're going to look beyond our top 5 and celebrate a few honorable mentions. These are products that are equally beloved, equally effective, and are making a massive difference in homes across the country. Think of these as the next steps in your sustainable journey. Our first honorable mention tackles a daily ritual for over 60% of Americans: the morning cup of coffee. Specifically, we're looking at the single-serve coffee pod machine. Brands like Keurig revolutionize convenience, offering a hot, fresh cup of coffee in under a minute. But this convenience came at a steep environmental price. The disposable plastic pods, often called K-cups, have become an icon of environmental waste. It's estimated that the number of these pods that end up in landfills each year could circle the globe more than 10 times. They are a recycling nightmare, composed of a plastic cup, an aluminum lid, a paper filter, and organic coffee grounds, all fused together in a package that is nearly impossible for municipal facilities to process. For years, coffee lovers felt a twinge of guilt every time they dropped a used pod into the trash. The solution is elegantly simple and is our first honorable mention: the reusable coffee pod. This is a small, durable filter cup, often made with a stainless steel mesh body and a BPA-free plastic lid, that is designed to fit perfectly into your single-serve machine. Instead of using a disposable pod, you simply fill this reusable one with your favorite ground coffee, close the lid, and brew as usual. Why do people love it? First and foremost, it offers freedom of choice. You are no longer limited to the selection of pre-packaged pods sold in stores. You can now use any coffee you desire, a specialty blend from a local roaster, your favorite fair trade brand, or even a classic can from the grocery store. This almost always results in a fresher, more flavorful, and more satisfying cup of coffee. Second, the cost savings are dramatic. Pre-packaged pods are incredibly expensive when you break down the cost per pound of coffee. Buying a bag of your favorite ground coffee and filling your own pod can save you 50% or more on your daily coffee habit. The reusable pod pays for itself in just a few weeks. And of course, the primary benefit is the massive reduction in waste. One single reusable pod can prevent hundreds, or even thousands, of plastic pods from ending up in a landfill. It's a simple switch that completely transforms a wasteful habit into a sustainable one. For our second honorable mention, we're moving from the coffee counter to the grocery store. Picture yourself in the produce aisle. You want to buy some apples, a head of broccoli, and a few onions. What do you reach for? For most of us, it's those incredibly thin, flimsy plastic bags on a roll. We use them for the 20-minute journey from the store to our home, and then they are immediately discarded. These bags are a major contributor to plastic pollution, often mistaken for food by marine animals and breaking down into harmful microplastics. The solution is another brilliantly simple product: reusable produce bags. These are lightweight, washable bags, typically made from materials like organic cotton or a durable, see-through mesh made from recycled plastic. You keep a handful of them tucked inside your main reusable shopping bags and use them instead of the disposable plastic ones. The appeal is obvious. It's a direct and visible way to refuse single-use plastic every time you shop. They are durable and can be used for years. The mesh design is particularly popular because it allows the cashier to easily see what's inside, and it lets the produce breathe. In fact, some vegetables and fruits, like potatoes, onions, and garlic, actually last longer when stored in a breathable cotton bag rather than a suffocating plastic one. Furthermore, their usefulness extends beyond produce. They are perfect for buying items from the bulk bins, like nuts, grains, and snacks. You can use them to organize items when you travel, or as a small laundry bag for washing delicate items. They are a versatile tool for a low-waste lifestyle. These two products, the reusable coffee pod and reusable produce bags, perfectly embody the spirit of this movement. They take a moment of mindless, wasteful consumption and transform it into an intentional, sustainable act. They save you money and empower you to make better choices without sacrificing convenience. Now that we have a whole toolkit of fantastic products at our disposal, it's time to shift our focus slightly. Having the right tools is one thing, but knowing how to use them to build lasting change is another. In our next chapter, we are going to move from the what to the why and the how. We will explore the psychology behind forming new habits and discuss practical strategies for making these eco-friendly choices stick, turning good intentions into an effortless, sustainable lifestyle. Hello and welcome back. In our journey so far, we have filled our virtual shopping cart with an incredible toolkit of products designed to help us live more sustainably. We have solutions for the kitchen, the laundry room, the bathroom, and beyond. We have the what. But for many of us, this is where a familiar feeling can creep in: overwhelm. You might be thinking, this is all great, but where do I even begin? How do I actually make these changes a permanent part of my busy life? If you've ever felt that way, you are not alone. There's a well-known concept in psychology called the intention-action gap. It's that space between our genuine desire to do something, like reduce our waste, and our actual, day-to-day behaviors. The reason for this gap isn't a lack of willpower or a moral failing. The reason is a simple, powerful force: habit. Our brains are wired to run on autopilot, following the familiar, easy paths we've carved over years. To make a real change, we don't need more guilt or more information. We need a better strategy for building new habits. This chapter is your guide to that strategy. We're going to step back from the products themselves and focus on the science of how to seamlessly integrate them into your life, turning good intentions into effortless actions. The first and most important principle is to start ridiculously small. The biggest mistake people make when trying to become more eco-friendly is attempting to change everything at once. They try to go zero waste, start a compost bin, and switch out every product in their home all in the same week. This approach almost always leads to burnout and a feeling of failure. The key is to pick one, and only one, tiny habit to focus on first. For example, instead of a vague goal like, use less paper towels, make your goal, when I spill a little water on the counter today, I will reach for the Swedish dishcloth instead of the paper towel. That's it. It's specific, achievable, and small. The point of this first tiny win isn't to save the planet overnight. It's to prove to yourself that you can change, and to start building the identity of a person who uses sustainable products. The second principle is to redesign your environment to make the good choice the easy choice. Habits are often a response to our surroundings. We don't consciously decide to grab a paper towel. We do it because the roll is right there, in plain sight. To build a new habit, you need to make it the most obvious and convenient option. So, put that Swedish dishcloth on a hook right next to the faucet. When you wash your reusable produce bags, don't put them in a drawer. Put them immediately back inside your main grocery bags, and hang those bags on the doorknob or put them in the front seat of your car. To make your shampoo bar a success, invest in a draining soap dish that keeps it dry and firm, and place it where you used to keep the bottle. By curating your environment, you eliminate the friction that makes it hard to stick to new behaviors. You make the sustainable choice the path of least resistance. Third, link your new habit to an existing one. This is a powerful technique sometimes called habit stacking. Our daily routines are built on a chain of existing habits. The idea is to find a spot in that chain to insert your new desired behavior. The formula is simple. After I, current habit, I will new eco-habit. For example, after I finish my morning coffee, I will immediately rinse my reusable coffee pod. This prevents the grounds from drying out and becoming a chore to clean later. Or, when I sit down to write my weekly grocery list, I will also take a moment to confirm my reusable bags are in the car. By tethering the new action to a firmly established one, you don't have to rely on memory or motivation to get it done. It just becomes the next logical step in your routine. Finally, the fourth principle is to focus on progress, not perfection. This is crucial. You will have days when you're in a rush and you forget your reusable bags at the grocery store. You will have moments when you instinctively reach for the paper towels. This is not failure. This is human. The goal is not to be a perfect environmentalist 100% of the time. The goal is to be better, more conscious, and more consistent over the long term. If you used to use 30 disposable plastic produce bags a month, and now you only use 3 because you forgot your bags one time, that is a 90% reduction. That is a massive victory worth celebrating. Don't let one slip-up derail your entire journey. By starting small, redesigning your environment, stacking your habits, and embracing progress over perfection, you create a system that makes sustainable living feel natural and achievable, rather than like a demanding chore. Now that we have the tools and a strategy for building better habits, there's one more skill we need to develop as we navigate the world of green products. In a marketplace full of confusing claims, how do we become smart shoppers? How do we tell the difference between a genuinely sustainable product and one that's just clever marketing? In our next chapter, we will pull back the curtain on greenwashing and arm you with the knowledge to make truly informed choices. Hello and welcome back. In our last chapter, we explored the science of habit formation, laying out a practical roadmap for turning our sustainable intentions into lasting, everyday actions. You now have a toolkit of excellent products and a strategy for weaving them into the fabric of your life. You're motivated. You're ready. You walk into a store or browse online, and you are immediately met with a tidal wave of marketing. You see packages adorned with green leaves and pictures of serene landscapes. You read labels with promising but vague words like earth-friendly, all-natural, and eco-conscious. It seems like every company is now a champion of the environment. But are they? Or are they just trying to capitalize on your good intentions? This is where we need to talk about a crucial concept for any modern consumer: greenwashing. Greenwashing is the act of misleading consumers regarding the environmental practices of a company or the environmental benefits of a product. It's using green marketing to create a deceptive image of sustainability. Companies do this because they know that American consumers are actively looking for, and are often willing to pay more for, products that are better for the planet. The demand for green products is real, and some companies have decided it's easier to change their labels than to change their practices. But you have the power to see through this. Learning to spot greenwashing is like developing a superpower. It allows you to reward the companies that are truly making a difference and ignore those that are just making noise. So, let's go over a few common red flags, the telltale signs of potential greenwashing. The first, and most common, red flag is the use of vague or fluffy language. These are feel-good words that have no clear, verifiable, or scientific meaning. When you see a product labeled simply as eco-friendly, what does that actually mean? A product could be made in a polluting factory but be packaged in a slightly smaller box and call itself eco-friendly. The term all-natural is another classic. Arsenic, mercury, and poison ivy are all natural, but you wouldn't want them in your lotion. What you should look for instead is specificity. A genuinely sustainable company won't say eco-friendly. They'll say packaged in a box made from 90% post-consumer recycled cardboard. They won't just say natural. They'll list their plant-derived ingredients. The second red flag is what's known as the hidden trade-off. This is when a company shines a bright spotlight on one small green attribute of their product, while conveniently ignoring a much larger, more harmful environmental impact. For example, a company might boast that its notebook is made from recycled paper, but neglect to mention that the paper was processed using chlorine bleach in a factory with a history of dumping chemicals into the local river. True sustainability is holistic. It considers the entire life cycle of a product, from sourcing and manufacturing to packaging and disposal. A third red flag is making a claim with no proof or an irrelevant claim. An example of an irrelevant claim would be a window cleaner proudly advertising itself as CFC-free. This sounds great, but CFCs, or chlorofluorocarbons, were banned in aerosol cans decades ago. This claim is true, but it's completely meaningless and is designed to make the product seem more responsible than its competitors. A no-proof claim is when a company simply asserts that its product is sustainable or ethically sourced without providing any accessible information, data, or certifications to back it up on their website or packaging. So, how do we find the companies we can trust? While red flags tell us what to avoid, green flags tell us what to look for. The most powerful green flag is a reputable, third-party certification. These are logos from independent organizations that have rigorously audited a product or company to ensure it meets specific high standards. You don't need to be an expert, you just need to learn to recognize the logos. For example, for personal care and cleaning products, look for the EWG verified logo from the Environmental Working Group, which means the product avoids chemicals of concern. For paper and wood products, like your packaging or even a bamboo toothbrush, look for the FSC logo, which stands for the Forest Stewardship Council, ensuring the materials come from responsibly managed forests. If you want to know if a product was tested on animals, the Leaping Bunny logo is the gold standard for cruelty-free certification. And for a company as a whole, one of the best certifications to look for is B Corporation. A certified B Corporation has been verified to meet high standards of social and environmental performance, public transparency, and legal accountability. It means the company is committed to balancing profit and purpose. Think of these certifications as trustworthy shortcuts. They've done the deep research so you don't have to. By learning to spot vague language and instead looking for specific claims backed by credible certifications, you transform from a passive consumer into an informed, empowered one. Now that we are armed with the tools to build better habits and the knowledge to make smarter choices in the marketplace, we can begin to zoom out even further. Being a conscious consumer isn't just about swapping one product for another. It's also about questioning our overall consumption. In our next chapter, we'll explore the broader philosophy of less is more, and discuss how the principles of minimalism and conscious consumption fit into a truly sustainable lifestyle. Hello and welcome back. In our journey so far, we have armed ourselves with an arsenal of knowledge. We've identified the best eco-friendly products, we've learned the psychological tricks to build lasting habits, and we've developed the critical eye needed to see through the marketing fog of greenwashing. It would be easy to think that we now have all the answers. But what if I told you that the most powerful sustainable action you can take doesn't involve buying anything at all? Up to this point, we have focused on making better choices as consumers, swapping a disposable product for a reusable one. But today, we are going to zoom out and ask a more fundamental question. Do we need the product in the first place? This is where we move beyond simply being a green consumer and start to embrace the philosophy of conscious consumption. It's the simple but revolutionary idea that the most sustainable product is the one you never buy. To guide this shift in mindset, we can use a simple but powerful framework, often referred to as the 5 rupees of waste management. Many of us grew up learning about the 3 Rs: reduce, reuse, recycle. The modern sustainability movement has expanded this list and, more importantly, has placed them in a clear hierarchy of importance. The first and most powerful R is refuse. This is about stopping waste at the source, before it even has a chance to enter your home. It's the simple act of saying, no, thank you. Refuse the plastic straw the waiter tries to put in your drink. Refuse the flimsy plastic bag for the 1 or 2 items you just bought. Refuse the free promotional pen from a conference or the cheap plastic toy in a party favor bag that you know will be broken and discarded in a day. It's about unsubscribing from the endless stream of junk mail and catalogs that clog your mailbox. Refusing is an act of empowerment. It's drawing a boundary and deciding that you will not be a passive recipient of future trash. The second R is reduce. If you cannot completely refuse an item, the next best step is to reduce your overall consumption of it. This is the heart of minimalism, the idea of finding joy and efficiency in having enough, rather than constantly seeking more. It's about being intentional with every purchase. Before you buy something new, ask yourself, do I truly need this? Can I borrow it from someone? Can I find it secondhand? Is the item I already own reparable? Reducing means planning your meals for the week so you buy only the groceries you need, thus reducing food waste. It means choosing to buy 1 high-quality, durable pair of shoes that will last for years, instead of 3 cheap, trendy pairs that will fall apart after 1 season. The third R is reuse. This is where all the wonderful products we've discussed in this series truly shine. Reusing is the practice of choosing durable goods over disposable ones. It's using your silicone bag over and over, wiping your counter with a Swedish dishcloth, and refilling a durable water bottle. But it goes even further. It's about finding new life for items you already own. A glass spaghetti sauce jar can be washed and reused for storing bulk grains or packing your lunch. An old worn-out t-shirt can be cut into perfect cleaning rags. Reusing is a creative act that extends the life of our possessions and honors the resources that were used to create them. The fourth R is rot. This refers to composting. A huge percentage of what Americans send to landfills, up to 30%, is food scraps and yard waste. When this organic matter is trapped in a landfill, it decomposes without oxygen, releasing methane, a greenhouse gas that is far more potent than carbon dioxide. Composting is the process of allowing this material to decompose aerobically, turning it into a nutrient-rich soil amendment for your garden or houseplants. Whether you have a simple backyard bin, a small worm composter in your apartment, or a citywide collection service, diverting your food scraps from the landfill is one of the most impactful environmental actions you can take from your own home. It's nature's way of recycling. Finally, we arrive at the fifth and last R, recycle. It might be surprising to see recycling at the bottom of the list, but there's a good reason. For decades, we've been taught that recycling is the primary solution to our waste problem. While it is certainly better than sending something to a landfill, recycling is an energy-intensive industrial process with many limitations. Not everything we put in our blue bins, a practice sometimes called wish cycling, actually gets recycled. Recycling is the last resort for when we have already failed to refuse, reduce, reuse, or rot. It's crucial to become an expert on your local recycling rules to ensure you're doing it effectively, but we must recognize that we cannot recycle our way out of a consumption problem. This 5R hierarchy provides a new lens through which to view our choices. The real power isn't at the bottom of the list, but at the top. By starting with refuse and reduce, we address the problem at its root. Now that we've established this powerful framework, let's put it into practice. In our next chapter, we'll take on the single largest source of household waste from many American families, and a topic we've just touched on, food waste. We will explore practical strategies, from smart shopping to creative cooking, to help you reduce waste, save money, and make the most of the food you bring into your home. Hello and welcome back. In our last chapter, we zoomed out to embrace the 5 rupees framework, shifting our focus from simply buying better products to the more powerful concepts of refusing, reducing, and reusing. We established that the most sustainable choices are often the ones that prevent waste from being created in the first place. Today, we are going to apply that powerful mindset to the single largest source of waste in many American households, our food. It's a staggering and uncomfortable truth. In the United States, we throw away somewhere between 30 and 40% of our entire food supply. For the average American family of 4, that's like throwing away nearly $1,500 every single year. This isn't just a waste of money, it's a profound environmental issue. Think of all the water, the land, the energy, and the labor that goes into growing, processing, and transporting that food, only for it to end up in a landfill. And as we learned in our last chapter, when food rots in a landfill, it releases methane, a potent greenhouse gas. The good news is that tackling food waste is one of the most immediate and impactful ways you can reduce your environmental footprint. It doesn't require buying anything new. In fact, it requires buying less. It's about being more mindful and creative with the food we have. Let's break down the strategy into a few simple, actionable parts. Our first area of focus is smart planning and shopping. This is where we apply the principles of refuse and reduce. The easiest way to avoid throwing food away is to not have an excess of it to begin with. Before you even think about going to the grocery store, shop your pantry first. Look in your fridge, your freezer, and your cupboards to see what you already have. Then, plan your meals for the week around those ingredients. Meal planning is the #1 superpower in the fight against food waste. When you have a plan, you can make a detailed shopping list and, most importantly, stick to it. This helps you avoid those impulse buys of perishable items that look good in the store but end up wilting in your crisper drawer. When you can, buy loose produce instead of pre-packaged bags. If your recipe calls for 2 carrots, buy 2 carrots, not a 2-pound bag. Once the food is in your home, the next step is proper storage. How you store your food can dramatically extend its life. It's worth learning a few basics. For example, your refrigerator door is the warmest part of the fridge, so it's not the best place for milk or eggs. Use it for condiments instead. Store your fresh herbs like a bouquet of flowers, with their stems in a jar of water. Keep your potatoes and onions in a cool, dark place, but keep them separate, as onions can cause potatoes to sprout faster. A great tip is to not wash your berries until right before you eat them, as the excess moisture can cause them to mold. And never underestimate the power of your freezer. The freezer is like a magic pause button for food. If you have bananas that are getting too ripe, peel them and freeze them for future smoothies. If you won't finish a loaf of bread before it goes stale, freeze half of it. You can freeze leftover soups, sauces, and even portions of rice for a quick future meal. The third stage is where creativity comes in, using it all. This is about shifting your perspective. Those broccoli stems, slightly wilted carrots, or that half of an onion are not scraps, they are ingredients. Create an Eat Me First box or a designated shelf in your fridge for items that are nearing their expiration date. This visual cue reminds you to use them up. Get comfortable with kitchen sink meals. A handful of leftover vegetables can become a delicious frittata, a stir-fry, or a hearty soup. And learn to use the whole plant. The stems of broccoli and cauliflower are delicious when sliced thin and roasted. The green tops of carrots can be blended into a pesto. Keep a large bag or container in your freezer for vegetable peels, onion skins, and celery ends. Once the bag is full, you can simmer them in a pot of water to create a flavorful, free vegetable broth. Finally, after we have planned, stored, and creatively used as much as possible, we reach our last resort for any unavoidable scraps like coffee grounds, eggshells, or a piece of fruit that went bad: composting. This is the rot principle in action. By composting, you are turning what would have been methane-producing landfill waste into a valuable resource that enriches the soil. Whether it's a backyard bin or a small worm farm on your balcony, composting closes the loop, returning the nutrients from our food back to the earth. Tackling food waste is a delicious challenge. It pushes us to be more creative, more resourceful, and more connected to the food we eat. It saves us a significant amount of money and is one of the single most effective climate actions we can take as individuals. We've now covered the major sources of physical waste in our homes. But what about the invisible consumption? What about the energy that powers our lights and the water that flows from our taps? In our next chapter, we will turn our attention to these vital resources, exploring simple and effective ways to reduce our energy and water consumption at home. Hello and welcome back. We have journeyed through our kitchens, laundry rooms, and bathrooms, tackling the visible waste we can see and touch, the plastic containers, the paper towels, and the food scraps. But some of the most significant environmental impacts of our homes come from sources that are completely invisible. We don't see the carbon emissions generated to power our televisions, and we don't see the vast energy network required to deliver clean water to our taps. Today, we turn our attention to this invisible consumption, the energy and water we use every single day. Learning to manage these precious resources is the next frontier of creating a truly sustainable home. And the best part, nearly every single action you take to reduce your energy and water use will also directly reduce the amount of money you spend on your monthly utility bills. It's a win for your wallet and a win for the planet. Let's start with energy, specifically the electricity that hums behind our walls. One of the biggest unseen culprits of energy waste in the modern American home is something called phantom load, or vampire power. This is the energy that your electronics and appliances draw from the outlet, even when they are turned off. Your television, your cable box, your video game console, your coffee maker, your phone chargers, they all continue to pull a small but constant stream of power, 24/7, just to be ready at a moment's notice. This phantom load can account for up to 10% of your home's total electricity use. The most effective way to slay these energy vampires is with a simple tool, a smart power strip. You can plug a whole entertainment center, your TV, speakers, and gaming system, into one of these strips. Then, with the flip of a single switch, you can completely cut off power to all of them at once when you go to bed or leave the house. Another classic but incredibly impactful switch is in your lighting. If you still have old, incandescent light bulbs, replacing them with light-emitting diodes, or LEDs, is one of the quickest ways to save energy. An LED bulb uses up to 80% less energy than an incandescent bulb to produce the same amount of light, and it can last up to 25 times longer. The upfront cost is slightly higher, but the long-term savings on your bills and replacement costs are substantial. Next, let's look at our appliances. In the laundry room, make cold water your default for washing clothes. Up to 90% of the energy a washing machine consumes is used just to heat the water. Modern detergents, like the laundry sheets we discussed, are formulated to clean brilliantly in cold water. And always remember to clean your dryer's lint filter after every single load. A clean filter allows for better air circulation, improving efficiency and shortening drying time. Now, let's turn our attention to water. Even if you live in an area where water seems plentiful, it's important to remember that it takes a tremendous amount of energy to treat that water, pump it to your home, and then treat it again after it goes down the drain. This relationship is called the water-energy nexus. When you save water, you are always saving energy too. The bathroom is, by far, the biggest source of indoor water consumption. The single most effective action you can take is to simply shorten your shower. If the average American shower is about 8 minutes, cutting that down to 6 minutes could save thousands of gallons of water per year. Another easy upgrade is to install low-flow fixtures. Modern low-flow shower heads and faucet aerators use technology to mix air into the water stream, so the pressure still feels great, but they use significantly less water. And of course, there's the simple habit of turning off the tap while you brush your teeth or shave. Those 2 or 3 minutes of running water can waste over 8 gallons a day. Finally, Check your toilets for silent leaks. Put a few drops of food coloring in the toilet tank and wait 15 minutes without flushing. If any color appears in the bowl, you have a leak that could be wasting hundreds of gallons a month. In the kitchen and laundry, the rule is simple. Only run your dishwasher and washing machine when they are completely full. You use nearly the same amount of water and energy whether the machine is half empty or packed. These changes don't require major sacrifices. They are about being efficient and mindful. They are small adjustments to our daily routines that, when combined, lead to a significant reduction in our invisible consumption. We've now covered what we buy, how we build habits, how we think about consumption, and how we manage the physical and invisible resources within our homes. But what about the things we wear? The fashion industry has a massive environmental footprint. In our next chapter, we'll open the closet doors and explore the growing movement of sustainable fashion, from thrifting and mending to choosing better brands. Hello and welcome back. In our last chapter, we tuned into the invisible forces of our homes, learning how to manage the energy and water that flow around us. We've covered what we buy, how we use it, and how we manage our resources. Now, we're going to turn our attention to something deeply personal, something we use to express our identity to the world every single day, our clothing. It's time to open the closet doors. For the past few decades, our relationship with clothing has undergone a dramatic transformation. We've entered the age of fast fashion, a system built on producing trendy, inexpensive clothing at a breakneck pace, designed to be worn just a few times before being discarded for the next new thing. The average American now buys over 60 new items of clothing each year and throws away over 80 pounds of textiles. This constant churn has a hidden price tag, one that is paid by our planet and by the people who make our clothes. The environmental impact of the fast fashion industry is staggering. It's responsible for an estimated 10% of global carbon emissions, more than all international flights and maritime shipping combined. It takes over 2,700 liters of water to produce the cotton for a single t-shirt, which is enough drinking water for one person for 2.5 years. The industry also relies heavily on synthetic fabrics like polyester, nylon, and acrylic, which are essentially forms of plastic. Every time we wash these garments, they shed thousands of tiny microplastic fibers that flow down the drain, through water treatment plants, and out into our rivers and oceans, where they are ingested by marine life. So, how do we step off this trend treadmill? The answer lies in developing a conscious closet. It's a mindset shift away from quantity and disposability, and towards quality, longevity, and personal style. It's not about deprivation, it's about being more intentional. Let's explore 3 core strategies to get started. The first and most important strategy is to simply buy less and choose well. Before you purchase a new item, pause and ask a few critical questions. Will I realistically wear this at least 30 times? Does this align with my personal style, or is it just a fleeting trend? Is it made of a quality material that's built to last? This simple pause is our most powerful tool against impulsive consumption. When you do decide to buy something new, pay attention to the materials. Look for more sustainable fabrics like organic cotton, which is grown without synthetic pesticides and uses less water than conventional cotton. Linen and hemp are also fantastic, durable, natural fibers. And keep an eye out for innovative materials like Tencel lyocell, which is made from sustainably sourced wood pulp in an environmentally responsible process, or fabrics made from recycled materials, like recycled polyester. The second strategy is to embrace secondhand. Thrifting and buying from consignment stores is the ultimate form of sustainable fashion. It honors the resources and labor that went into creating a garment by giving it a second, third, or even fourth life. It completely bypasses the environmental impact of new production and keeps clothing out of the landfill. In the past, thrifting might have meant digging through dusty racks, but today it's more accessible than ever. Online platforms like ThreadUp, Poshmark, and The RealReal have made secondhand shopping a curated, convenient, and even luxurious experience. It's a treasure hunt that's good for your wallet and great for the planet. The third, and perhaps most personal, strategy is to extend the life of what you already own. The most sustainable clothes are the ones sitting in your closet right now. How we care for them makes a huge difference. As we've learned, washing clothes in cold water and line drying them when possible not only saves energy but also reduces the wear and tear on the fabric, helping them last longer. And consider reviving the lost art of mending. Learning a few basic skills, like how to sew on a button, patch a small tear, or hem a pair of pants, is incredibly empowering. It transforms you from a passive consumer into an active caretaker of your possessions. Mending is an act of defiance against a disposable culture. Building a conscious closet is a journey. It's about cultivating a wardrobe that truly reflects who you are, filled with pieces you love and will wear for years to come. It's about quality over quantity and care over consumption. We have now explored nearly every corner of our lives, from the food we eat, to the energy we use, to the clothes we wear. We have a firm grasp on the present state of sustainable living. But what's next? What does the future hold? In our next chapter, we will look to the horizon, exploring the exciting innovations and future trends that will continue to shape the eco-friendly homes of tomorrow. Hello and welcome back. Over the course of this series, we have taken a comprehensive tour of the sustainable home of today. We've equipped ourselves with better products, built smarter habits, and adopted a more conscious mindset towards consumption. We have a firm grasp on the here and now. But what about tomorrow? What does the future of sustainable living look like? In this chapter, we're going to step into the role of futurists. We'll look beyond the current landscape to the exciting innovations and emerging trends that are poised to make our homes even more efficient, intelligent, and harmonious with the planet. The future of sustainability isn't about going backwards, it's about leaping forward with incredible ingenuity. One of the most significant trends already taking root is the rise of the refill economy. We've talked a lot about reusable products, but the next evolution is a system built around refilling. The core idea is simple. You purchase a beautiful, durable container once, made of glass, aluminum, or sturdy recycled plastic, and then you buy refills for it in minimal, low-impact packaging. We're already seeing the pioneers of this movement. Companies are now selling cleaning concentrates as tiny tablets that you dissolve in your own reusable spray bottle. Personal care brands are mailing shampoo and conditioner in aluminum pouches, along with a return label so you can send the empty pouches back to be sterilized and reused. This model completely decouples the product from its single-use packaging. The future vision is one where our local grocery stores have vast refill sections where we can fill our own containers with everything from olive oil and coffee to laundry detergent and hand soap, eliminating a huge swath of household packaging waste. The second major trend is the merging of the smart home with the sustainable home. For years, smart home technology was seen as a luxury or a novelty. But today, it is becoming one of the most powerful tools for resource management. We've already discussed the smart thermostat, but the possibilities go so much further. Imagine a smart sprinkler system that taps into local weather data and automatically skips a watering session if rain is in the forecast. Picture smart plugs that not only let you turn off energy vampires remotely, but also send you a report on which appliances are using the most energy. The home of the future won't just respond to your commands. It will intelligently manage its own consumption. It will automatically run the dishwasher when electricity rates from the grid are at their lowest. It will lower the blinds on a hot afternoon to help reduce the load on the air conditioner. It will provide real-time feedback on your family's water usage, gamifying conservation and helping you build better habits without even thinking about it. Third, we are on the cusp of a revolution in materials science. Scientists around the world are developing incredible new materials that are inspired by nature and designed to leave no trace. For example, researchers are using mycelium, the root structure of mushrooms, to grow custom-molded, fully compostable packaging that can replace styrofoam. This same mushroom material is even being developed into a breathable, durable alternative to leather. Scientists are also harnessing the power of algae to create bioplastics that can be used for everything from food containers to shoes, and that can biodegrade in a home compost bin. These innovations mean that the very stuff our future products are made of will be fundamentally more sustainable. Finally, all of these trends are converging towards one big idea: the circular economy. Our current economic model is largely linear. We take resources from the earth, we make them into products, and then we dispose of them when we're done. It's a one-way street to the landfill. A circular economy, by contrast, is designed to be a closed loop. It's a system where waste is eliminated, materials are circulated, and nature is regenerated. For us as consumers, this will mean a shift in our relationship with ownership. More companies will offer take-back programs for their old products. Products will be designed for easy repair and disassembly. The focus will be on durability and service, not disposability. The home of tomorrow is not one of scarcity or sacrifice. It is a home that is smarter, more responsive, and built from materials that are in tune with nature's cycles. It is a future that is not just sustainable, but regenerative. With this inspiring vision of the future in our minds, it's time to bring our journey to a close. We have looked at the past, we've mastered the present, and we've glimpsed the future. In our final chapter, we will bring all of these lessons together for one last time, recapping our key takeaways and leaving you with a final, empowering call to action. And so, we arrive at the end of our journey together. Over the last 14 chapters, we have traveled through every room of the American home. We've examined the smallest of our daily habits and zoomed out to envision the grand, innovative future of sustainable living. We've talked about everything from the humble Swedish dishcloth to the complex idea of a circular economy. If you've been listening along, you now possess a powerful and comprehensive understanding of what it means to create a more conscious and eco-friendly home. But knowledge is only the first step. The true purpose of this series was not just to inform you, but to empower you. As we close, I want to distill everything we've learned down to a few core, essential truths, the key ideas to carry with you as you move forward. First, and most importantly, it all starts with a single, simple swap. Remember the feeling of being overwhelmed that we discussed in the beginning? The antidote to that feeling is action, no matter how small. The products we began this series with, the silicone bags, the laundry sheets, the wool dryer balls, the shampoo bars, are more than just clever items. They are gateways. They are designed to be easy, satisfying first steps that prove to you that a more sustainable life is not only possible, but enjoyable. They build the momentum you need to continue the journey. Don't try to change everything at once. Just choose one thing. The second core truth is a mantra to live by: progress, not perfection. You will have days when you forget your reusable coffee cup. You will have moments when you are too exhausted to cook, and you order takeout that comes in a plastic container. This is not failure. This is life. The goal is not to achieve a perfect, zero-waste record. The goal is to build a lifelong practice of making better choices, more often. Celebrate your successes. Forgive your slip-ups. A sustainable lifestyle is a marathon, not a sprint, and every single step forward counts. Third, never forget that your choices have powerful ripple effects. It can be easy to feel like your individual actions are just a drop in the ocean. But when millions of drops come together, they create a tidal wave of change. Every time you choose a product with plastic-free packaging, you are casting a vote. You are sending a direct message to companies and retailers about what you value. Consumer demand is the single most powerful force for change in our economy. Your choices signal to the market that there is a demand for sustainability, for transparency, and for corporate responsibility. You are not just a consumer, you are a catalyst. And finally, remember that sustainability is not about deprivation, it is about intention. There is a persistent myth that living an eco-friendly life means giving things up, that it's a life of scarcity and sacrifice. But as we have discovered, the opposite is often true. Fighting food waste makes our food more delicious and saves us money. Choosing non-toxic products makes our homes healthier. Mending our clothes fosters a sense of creativity and pride. Decluttering our lives of needless consumption gives us more time, space, and freedom. A conscious life is a richer life. So, where do you go from here? My final request to you is this: before this day is over, choose your first next step. Make it a concrete, physical action. Maybe it's taking 2 minutes right now to find your reusable grocery bags and put them in your car. Perhaps it's pulling out a notepad and planning your meals for just the next 3 days. Maybe it's finally placing that order for a set of Swedish dishcloths. Or maybe it's simply sharing one idea you learned from this series with a friend or family member. The specific action you take is less important than the act of taking it. The goal is to convert the passive energy of listening into the active momentum of doing. The quiet revolution we spoke of in our very first chapter is real. It isn't happening in a boardroom or in a laboratory. It is happening in your kitchen, in your laundry room, in your closet. It is happening with your hands and through your choices, day after day. Thank you for spending this time with me, and for being open to these ideas. The journey to a healthier, more sustainable world truly begins at your front door. You are now ready. Your journey begins now.